the lead for Alain!
Enviro scores!
Converted! The shot's a goal! The shot's the finish! Marias have the leveller!
Toure with a strike, it's in! There's a chance, and there's a goal! Lucas scores!
Free rein and Gesson, wow, what a hit! And it's a thumping header!
Ball is down and it's in for Chasida. And yet to Siak and it's in for Wassel. Crosses and Fabian scores!
Hello everyone and welcome to Final Score, your guide to the last week in top tier football in the UAE. And this week we're looking back on the penultimate match week of the ADNOC Pro League season, where we have more answers at the top of the table, but still we don't know what's going to happen at the other end of matters. Joining me to go through all the goals, all the games, all the drama, all the talking points, as normal, we have the legend of UAE football, Ibrahim Diaki, and the walking encyclopedia of UAE football as well, Pedro Correa. Ibrahim, let's start with you briefly, your thoughts about the penultimate week of the season. It's obviously a crucial one, and there's a lot of clubs now who didn't get the results they wanted, which the pressure is on for the end of the season now.
Graham, definitely a very intense week. With a lot of pressure from the relegation zone and the third position. But now everything is more a bit clear from the third position. The relegation zone is still open, and we have the last game on the 16th. So, but this week I really enjoyed the games with so many surprises. Definitely a lot of things to talk about.
Pedro, we talked about this a little in the last few weeks. I don't think we've ever got to this point in the season, especially with the relegation battle, for no clarity whatsoever.
I don't remember 3 clubs being involved at this point. I don't remember. We had the champion in round 24. Now we had the third place done in round 25, and we go into the last round with the relegation battle completely open, and we don't know what's going to happen.
It's great. It's great for the drama. It's great for us on the TV anyway. Not so healthy if you're a part of the clubs themselves. All right, let's look at the numbers then, the stats from match week 25 of the ADNOC Pro League. And we have Kojo Laba got his 23rd of the season. Surely he is going to lift the golden boot for the second year in a row in the ADNOC Pro League, and Dusan Tadic remains the top assister for the season on 12 so far. 490 goals we have to look forward to. Laba got 5 of those. No, Alain got 5 of those as well. And 2.8 goals per game. That is creeping up slowly before the end of the season. Perhaps we can get it a little bit higher with the last games of the season. Okay, before we get into the games then, let's take another look, a quick look back at match week 25. The penultimate match week of one of the most enthralling seasons in ADNOC Pro League history produced plenty more drama. The focus on Sunday was the bottom of the table and the relegation battle between Al Dhafra, Al Battay and Dibba. Al Dhafra had the unenviable task of facing the newly crowned league champions Alain. And after sealing their title with a 5-0 win against Sharjah the week before, they did it again against Al Dhafra. El Hussein Rahimi and Traore got them started before Soufiane Rahimi got 2 of his own. In the second half, Kojo Laba got his 23rd of the season from the spot, and Al Dhafra are left at the bottom of the table. Al Battay were the only team of the 3 at the bottom to pick up a point. They did it with a goalless draw against Sharjah, who were still reeling from that 5-0 defeat to Alain the week before. Dibba could have confirmed their top-flight status with a win against Ajman. But when their captain was sent off in the first half, it was an uphill task. Guillaume Biro scored for Ajman just before an own goal from Habib Youssef made it 2-0. The bottom three remain separated by just 1 point ahead of their final games of the season. Banias confirmed they are staying in the Pro League a few weeks ago, and they held the outgoing champions Shabab Al Ahly to a 2-2 draw. Mohamed Al Mansouri put Shabab Al Ahly ahead before Verdi equalised just after half an hour. Al Mansouri struck again to put the away side 2-1 up just before half-time, but captain Fawazawana equalised again midway through the second half, and both had to settle for a point. On Monday, the focus was mainly on the race to finish third, but Kalba against Al Nassr kicked off first. Al Nassr had the lead at half-time thanks to a terrific individual goal from Abdoulaye Touré. Maxo equalised for Kalba on 64 minutes, but Luka Milivojevic scored the winner for Al Nassr shortly after that. Third place had come down to Al Wasl, Al Jazeera and Al Wada, who all played at the same time. Kouadio put Korfakan ahead in the first half against Al Wada. It looked set to be the only goal of the game until Mohamed Rasoul made it 1-1 with the last kick of the match. But in the race for third, it didn't matter, as Al Wasl have confirmed it with their fourth win in a row. Drielson's own goal put Al Jazeera in the lead in the first half, but Sidibe levelled the score after the restart, and then Fabio De Lima scored the goal that seals third position for Al Wasl, no matter what happens on the final day. So, Al Wasl have confirmed third place in the table. They did it with a 2-1 win against Al Jazeera, who are also trying to battle till the end to finish third, but it will be Al Wasl. Now, in terms of the Asian Champions League, we still don't know if they're going to go straight into the elite competition. It depends on the President's Cup final between Al Ain and Al Jazeera. So there's still a path through for Al Jazeera to get straight into the Champions League elite. But the main focus at the moment is that Al Wasl have finished third, and 4 wins in a row, Pedro. They were trending this way. Al Wasl were having a great little flourish last month, but they kind of have tailed off in the last couple of weeks. And Al Wasl, you're at this game. Would you say that Al Wasl deserved this win, or it could have gone either way?
It could have gone either way. I was lucky to be there. It was a very good game.
We all know.
Very good game. Very good, very exciting, very entertaining. I think Jazeera was better in the first half. Yeah. I think Al Wasl was slightly better in the second half. I would say a draw would be a fair result. But in the end, you know, it's football, and Al Wasl won it well. It was a competent performance. Again, better in the second half than in the first. Between two very good teams right now, both living a good moment lately. Al Wasl had its ups and downs throughout the season, so did Jazeera. But lately, both these teams were not doing bad at all. And it all came down to this match. And what a great match. What a great promotion to the ADNOC Pro League again. In a match that ended up being decisive for Al Wasl to get the third position.
For Al Wasl, Ibrahim, this is a great comeback at the end of the season, because they've had a difficult season, haven't they? They've been through 2 or 3 managers. They were languishing sort of in the bottom half of the top half of the table, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So to come back so strongly and seal third place with a week to go, it shows a lot of character.
Yeah, I spoke about it a couple of times. Since Coach Rui took over, we saw a slight change in the way of Al Wasl playing. And that game there they did against Jazeera was really crucial for them, because they were trying to keep the third position. It wasn't easy, because the game started well from both sides. But what I like about what Coach Rio did, is the changes that he did in the second half. That changed completely the way of playing of El Wasl, and it made it difficult for Al Jazeera. He changed position by position. On the right side, he removed Salah and put Serginho. He put Lima in on the place of the playmaker who was playing there, Gimenez. He did it very well. And I think he boosted the offensive attack of Al Wasl, and that's what made the difference. And I'm really impressed to see the way how they're playing now, because that's the Al Wasl that we are waiting for. And great victory. Al Jazeera was certainly controlling the first half, even in the second half, the beginning, but in the last 25-30 minutes, Al Wasl completely changed the dynamic and the rhythm of the game, and they won the game.
I would add Renato Junior on top of what you said.
Yes, exactly.
Renato Junior, the striker who came on from the bench, replacing Borja.
Yeah.
In terms of his work rate, in terms of his pressure, what he gave to the team in those minutes he was on the pitch, very interesting. Helped the team a lot. He did not score, but he helped the team a lot in applying strong pressure on Jazeera's defenders, make it very hard for Jazeera to react.
But if you're talking about somebody who came off the bench, we have to talk about Fabio de Lima. Yeah. For the second week in a row, comes off the bench. He scored the winner, obviously, in this match, but it's a goal that sends Al Wasl into Asia again, and it's his 184th goal in the UAE in UAE professional football, which ties with Sebastian Tagliabue. I think they're still both way behind Ali Mabkut, of course, in the overall goal scoring. But what a player he is! What a leader on the pitch and off the pitch he's been, both for club and country, for Al Wasl, and he's still doing it. Look, he's come on for 12 minutes. He scored a goal that sends Al Wasl into third and into Asia.
Yeah, you know, Graham, he's a great asset for Al Wasl. I've played so many times against him. Very, very strong and I would say intelligent player, because technically he has the ability to put the ball where he wants. And but what I like the most about him is the way how he's moving in the field. He knows where to put himself in position to receive and help Al Wasl, and he has big impact on Al Wasl because he's the playmaker. Lima is the type of player who can decide the rhythm, how to change, if to accelerate or decelerate, depends on him. And tremendous quality, very smart player, and his movement in the field is really remarkable. And I think I'm not surprised at all with the 184 goals. He really deserved that, and he has been doing good for Al Wasl for so many years. Really happy for him.
And look at his movement here, watching him. He's just predicting what's going to happen. He's using all of his experience. And now in sort of in this phase of his career, Pedro, he's coming off the bench rather than starting matches. Mostly, you know, he still is sometimes. But he understands the role that he has now. He's now become the impact player, and he's still doing it and doing it brilliantly.
He is very smart on the pitch, extremely smart. He always was. And he knows about his strengths. He knows also about his weaknesses, where he's not as strong. I think nowadays, with 5 substitutions, as the game is evolving, the fact that you are in the starting 11 or not is not as relevant as before. Because before you had only 2 substitutions. Back in your time when you started playing, only 2 substitutions. Now with 5 substitutions, you must have more than 11 players ready to play. You must have 15 players, 16 players, as many as possible. And I think with the evolution also of the game in the country and Fabio's evolution, because of course years are going by, I think both the club and Fabio will benefit from Fabio playing in a more central position, more like a number 10, which is, by the way, his original position. He played many times, many years, slightly open wide on the right side, even though roaming quite a lot. But I think nowadays it's better for him to play in a central position, close to the game in the middle, close to the goal. Because the most interesting fact about the 184 goals is the other 2 players you mentioned, Ali Mabkut and Sebastian Tagliabue, and all credit due to them because they are two of the greatest of the game in the country. They are strikers.
Yeah.
Fabio is not a striker. Fabio is an attacking midfielder. Okay, open wide on the right, wide forward, whatever you want to call it, playmaker, but he's not a striker. He never was a striker. And his smartness, the movements. Many times I saw him playing and he was open wide on the right-hand side and apparently a bit peripheral to the game. And suddenly he would score 2 goals because he would get in the middle of the defense, in between the left back and the left central defender, and he would score goals. I saw him doing this many times, and people knew what he was going to do. Nobody could stop him.
I was going to say, how many times have we seen him on the right side of the penalty box? He comes into his left foot. There's no stopping it. We know where it's going into that.
He had a chance like that just moments before he scored. He had a chance like that where he had a shot and he almost made it.
But to come back to what Pedro is saying, the evolution of football now, many things are changing. The playmakers before used to be in the center. But now if you see different clubs, they're all using now playmakers on the wing side. If you take Alain Kaku, he's a playmaker. He starts always on the left side. Fabio Lima, the same. I can name many other players. But now the thing that are added on top of being a playmaker, they have to be on the defensive side to participate more into the team. And some coaches are using it very well. And Lima, this is where the intelligence kick in because he's very smart. Even if you put him on the left side, he will be able to do the job. If you put him on the center too, which is much easier for him because that's with traditional and normal position. So he really deserves, honestly, the 184 goals. It's not easy because he's not a striker.
Yeah.
But the technique that he has allow him to score easily.
And he's being obviously employed really well in these last few games. He's doing his job. So we need to talk about the man who's employing him, Rui Vitória, who came in end of January. Like I say, Al Wassel were in a very sketchy period at the time. Your compatriots, I'll let you talk about him, Pedro. What's he done with the team? And you feel like Vitória is somebody that Al Wassel really need to hang on to over the summer and go into next season because he seems to be just bedding some really good stuff in now.
Before I answer you that, with all pleasure, because it's Portuguese, of course, and Fabio, another thing, interesting thing about Fabio, he's not very fast, he's not very strong, he's not very tall, so he's not, physically, he's not very gifted, and he does what he does. I think it's his brain, the way he thinks about the game, the way he understands about the game. Now, getting back to Rui Vitória and your question, I think as we spoke about Vladimirovic for Alain, he came by the same time last year for Alain, and he stood in the club for 6 months before the start of this season. I think Al Wassel can do a little bit the same with Rui Vitória. Rui Vitória brought a little bit of tactical stability, so Al Wassel is now playing in a 4-3-3. I think he understood the strengths and also the weaknesses of the team as it is right now. For sure, changes will happen throughout the summer. And he understood that, for example, the team needed a little bit more of balance in the midfield when it comes to defending, because Al Wassel midfield was all about possession, ball on the feet. But what about the defensive transition? And now adding Malek Janir from the start many times to protect and allow both Siaka and Jimenez to play more freely, with a bodyguard on their back, among other things. I think stability also in terms of the defensive line with Adrielson and Gabriel Vareta in the middle. So a better understanding, a better balance in the overall of the team's strengths and weaknesses and how to use the players even coming on from the bench like Fabio and Serginho, both players who can come on at any time and change completely the game, even though not changing the tactical structure of the team. This is important.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's all that. I think Al Wassel must build on this for next season, where they will have again a very challenging year.
He did a great job, honestly. Yeah. If you see the in the Jazeera game, I was really impressed with the way how the game changed completely in the second half. But it's due to he saw it, because Al Jazeera was carried away with the trying to get the third position to win, and they opened the game. And the change that the coach really did, it completely changed the dynamic for Al Wasser.
Okay, so Al Wasl have secured third place in the league. Whatever happens on the final day, they'll have to wait to see if they are straight into the Champions League elite after the President's Cup final. So they've still got to wait a little bit before they can celebrate that. All right, let's move on then. Al Ain, we know they are the champions. They will definitely be in the Champions League elite next season. And after winning 5-0 a week ago against Sharjah to secure the title, they did it again. 5-0 against Al Dhafra, who are bottom of the league. Another terrific performance from Al Ain. The Rahimi brothers got 3 goals between them. Toure got 1. Laba, of course, got on the score sheet as well. This is another one of those nights where you go, well, this is why they are the champions. What a performance again from them.
All about efficiency. Early goals, and then of course Dhafra is in trouble and felt, I think, very strongly the goals. 9 wins in a row in the league for Al Ain. 14 winless matches for Dhafra, also in the league. This is also important. But Al Ain, as you said, it's what they did throughout the season. Now, without the weight of waiting for a decision, the decision is done. Al Ain is the new champion of the ADNOC Pro League. And now it's about keeping the unbeaten record. That's very important. And preparing for the President's Cup final on the 22nd against Jazeera.
I want to focus a little bit, Ibrahim, on Soufiane Rahimi. He got 2 goals in the game, and for him, he's sort of come in and out of the season, hasn't he? We're used to him being like the star of every game, but he hasn't been like that this season. But he's finishing strongly.
Graham, I would like to come back on that game of Al Ain against Al Dhafra. That was the confirmation of the supremacy of Al Ain through the whole season. 5-0 against Dhafra. I mean, Dhafra, they didn't have a great season, but beating them 5-0, I mean, they show the quality that they have in the team and the great work that has been done by Coach Ivic. Coming to Soufiane Rahimi, and I think it's the fact that he had so many injuries in the season didn't allow him to be constant. But at the end of the season, we could see a big change. He is very important for Al Ain, and when he came back, he boosted also the offensive line of Al Ain. Al Ain count on him because he has great quality, international player, very smart, and he's the type of player any coach will need in his team, because Rahimi is the type of player who can take the ball and go 1v1, make the difference. Not only that, also come into the midfield, receive the ball and give through passes. So he has so many qualities that help Al Ain to do good. So definitely, and on top of that, now his brother coming in, that make it even better, because his brother is talented. Both together, they're very lethal for any team, and really glad that both they can play together and make the difference for Al Ain.
None of this works, of course, without Vladimir Ivic coordinating everything. All this talent is fine, but you've got to coordinate it and work out when to deploy everybody. They've now gone 25 matches unbeaten. Nobody's done that before. They are 1 game away from being the Invincibles. So although we're talking about some of the pressure is off Vladimir Ivic because the title's secured, it isn't really, because these kind of statistics, you don't get the chance to go unbeaten in a season. You can win a trophy, but to go unbeaten all season is so rare.
Being at Al Ain, you need to be ready for the pressure.
Yeah. I know about that.
Of course, Ibrahim knows about that better than us. You need to be ready for the pressure. Of course, the season Al Ain is doing, this particular team, adds to that pressure, because now the expectations are very high. Of course, for sure, all the Ainawis will want Al Ain to win the last match, or at least not to lose, to have another record in the club. And then I'm curious to see what will happen on Saturday, because there's the President's Cup final. So how will the squad be managed? If the usual starting 11 will play from the start, if it will play all the way until the end, because it's an important match for both. It's important for Al Ain because of the record, but it's very important also for Diba in terms of the relegation.
Okay, so they are one match away from being invincible. They're going to win the title, Al Ain. But Shabab Al Ahly are the outgoing champions. They won it last season. They put up a great fight all season, but in the last couple of weeks, they've had to settle for second place. They drew 2-2 with Banias, who secured their top flight status a few weeks ago. It was a really entertaining game. We were kind of watching this, weren't we, with one eye. Verdi and someone you know very well, Fawaz Awana, got the goals for Banias. But I want to look at Mohamed Al Mansouri, who's this young player who's a real talent. I think he's going to be up for Asian Player of the Year possibly as well. Talk a bit more about him. He's scored 2 goals on the night at such a big club. Doesn't seem to have any fear.
Honestly, from my side, I didn't have too much information about him, but I saw the couple of games that he played with Shabab Al Ahly. Very, very, very good young player. He has a great future, and even for our national team, he will be a great asset. And the quality that he has is game by game is always convincing. Actually, Paulo Sousa to be part of the first 11, and it's really remarkable what he's doing at a young age. He has the type of quality when Shabab Al Ahly need him, he's there. He's sure. So definitely. Great asset for Shabab Al Ahly, and I think he has a great future, not only for Shabab Al Ahly, also for the national team.
Al Makbali is also nominated for Young Player of the Year, but just continue with Mansouri. This is kind of his breakout season. Next season, he's going to be front and centre.
Not taking anything away from Bala and mostly Yuri Cesar, who have had very good seasons. I think it's the best and biggest surprise for Shabab Al Ahly this season is Mohamed Juma Al Mansouri. 7 goals, again not a striker, even though he can play in any position of the attacking midfield and the front line, mostly a winger, but can be also a forward, central forward if it is required.
He's polyvalent.
Fitting in very well in Shabab Al Ahly system, good technically, brave, not afraid of taking chances, of taking risks offensively. That's very good, especially in a young player. And as Ibrahim said, a good solution for the UAE national team also in the upcoming future.
So 2-2, Banias against Shabab Al Ahly. Al Wada, who were really trying to fight for third, but since they won the ADIB Cup final, it's been a loss and now a draw. A 1-1 draw against Khor Fakkan ended their hopes of finishing in third place. Good for Khor Fakkan. They're right in the middle of the table. That's 5 games unbeaten now for Khor Fakkan. So a good, strong finish to the season. But focus on Al Wada. You win a trophy, and then it's just a bit of a hangover afterwards.
You know, I spoke about Coach Damir when he took over Khor Fakkan. Great coach. He has great vision and great tactics. It was not easy for Al Wada in that game. We could see the last-minute goal from Al Wada, but the performance of Khor Fakkan is really impressive. The fast offensive attack that they're doing is something we didn't see for a long time. Even if we knew that this is the type of way of Khor Fakkan is using, but I think Coach Damir, when he took over, he boosted more the offensive action of Khor Fakkan. Not only that, defensively also, they're very well organized. The quick transition is very well done, and that's what makes it difficult for so many teams.
I think, looking at Al Wada, I think they've even said quite publicly that the celebrations after the ADIB Cup final have hampered their last couple of games, and you know, perhaps they got the balance wrong between enjoying the success of the cup and finishing and trying to fight for that third place. You know, they're still 5th, and there's a chance they can finish 4th as well. But yeah, after winning that trophy, it's just slipped a little bit.
Yeah, it was a very hard season for Wada, because when we look back, not even 6 months, it was not even that long ago, we all had expectations here regarding Wada fighting for the title back then. And of course, for a big club like Wada, having the disappointment of being close, being in the title race, and then suddenly to have a huge drop like they did, of course, I believe mentally it will affect the team. And these last few matches, of course, are complicated. They still won the ADIB Cup, and that is good. I think Wada has a good squad in general. Of course, needs adjustments like any other squad in the league, but they have a good squad in general. And I think they can build up on this squad for the upcoming season. Right now, it's the end of the season, and of course, not much more to play for. About Horfakan, let me tell you that their 8th position, as it is, in my opinion, is much better than it looks, because they struggle a lot with injuries, mostly, and also some suspensions, even among the foreigner players. So they missed some of their most important players for many matches throughout the season. And they are doing very good, especially now, and I totally agree with Ibrahim under Coach Damir. They are doing very well lately. So this 8th position with 27 points, for me, it's better than it looks.
But for El Wada, I would like to come back on something. Through the whole season, honestly, they had a great run. It was not easy because this is the ADNOC Pro League. This week you can win 3-0. The following week you can you can lose. So for me, with the squad that they have and all, as Pedro said, I think they will do really good next season, because first of all they have that wheel of. It's been a long time. El Wada didn't get the league. I think next season they might be ready to go for it.
Hope so. All right, now let's look at the relegation battle then. And our match of the week was Dibba against Ajman. Dibba are third from bottom, and they were third from bottom before kick-off as well, but other results means they stay there, even though they lost 2-0. And for such an important match for Dibba, it just didn't go well for them. Captain sent off, an own goal, as well as Biro's goal for Ajman as well. But Dibba live to fight another day. They've still got one more chance to survive.
Now, all the three teams, in terms of fighting spirit, I don't think there's much we can say about that in a wrong way, at least. Tremendous fighting spirit, both the three of them. In this particular match, it all went wrong for Dibba with the red card, because up until then it was going according to the plan, I believe, to the game plan they brought to the game. But after that, it became a lot harder. And then when Biro scored for Ajman, it became even worse. The second goal is already during added time. But they live to fight another day. And credit is due to these teams, because they will fight until the very last minute of the ADNOC Pro League.
Well, some good news for Dibba was that that red card was rescinded, so the captain will play in their last game. The bad news is their last game is against Al Ain, who have scored 10 unanswered goals in their last 2 matches. Yeah, but Ibrahim, your thoughts on Dibba? They are fighting, aren't they? They're fighting to stay in. All 3 clubs who are struggling at the bottom, you can't say that they're not fighting to stay up.
Yeah, the game against Ajman was, especially in the first half for Dibba, was really good. They started very well. And first of all, I'm really glad that they cancelled that red card, because it wasn't at all a red card. It looked like, but it wasn't. Yeah. So I think Dibba, what they did against Ajman is the same mistake that also Al Wada and Al Jazeera did against Al Wasl, because Al Jazeera was carried away with trying to get the 3 points to get the 3rd position. Dibba wanted to do anything to win that game, to go out, to stay completely stable from the relegation zone. So what they did, both they start to attack. They open the game. They should have been more resilient and be patient and wait the right moment to finish to score, for example. But Ajman, of course, with the offensive line that they have, they use the weaknesses of Dibba and make the difference.
Now, it was our match of the week, which meant our very own Amy Gillingham was there live for us. And after the kickoff in the mix zone, she managed to get a word with both the managers, Cyprian Panay for Dibba and Goran Tvegzic for Ajman.
Marius, first of all, perhaps not the result you were hoping for here this evening with 2 games to go, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, currently in 12th, joint points with Al Battaya.
Yes, first of all, nice to meet you. Regards to your followers. It's a pleasure for me to be in your channel, and thank you for asking me. It's true, I'm not satisfied about the result, but I'm satisfied about the attitude of my players and the game of my players. And like I said in the press conference, we did our best, but when we play more than one half of the game in 10 minutes, it's difficult to how to say, to expect much more. But we believe until the end. We prove that in the break of the game we change some tactical, we make some tactical adjustment, and we defend very good in the second half. We create two big chances to score. After that we take that goal. I said in the press conference also, my opinion, from what I saw in live, I think it was offside. It's just my opinion. I don't contest this decision. And after that, I have to risk more to try to take a draw, and we play only with 3 defenders in the back. We put all the strikers up, try to get at least 1 point from this game. So the second goal come like this. But overall, we depend on ourselves. Overall, I am proud of my players and my staff because they did a great job, not today, every day. And I want to say to you what I said in the press conference, but I'm afraid they will not put it. Look, this is the reality here. When I come, this team have 1 point after 6 games. I play until now 19 games, and I bring 19 points, so the team have 20 points. Now, the other ones, the opponents, play 25 games and they have 19 and 20 points. So these numbers speak from themselves, and I speak this again to prove that we do our job, and we deserve much more respect from the people who are around us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, and just a couple more questions. So, of course, it was a huge win last week against Albertaya, one of the teams that you're fighting for survival for. What do you think the difference is between Dibba, Al Dhafra, and Albertaya right now? What puts you above the 2 other teams?
I'll never speak about the other 2. I have to look only in front. What's happened, stay in the past. I have to look in front, and for me in front it's Al Ain. And after that, a new challenge. So you see what is the difference between us. For me, the difference was because, and it's easy, it's just mathematics. 6 points, we beat the Bataille 2 times. Dhafra, with me, we win. After that, we take 4 points from Banias. We take 4 points from Corpahan. So I think this is the difference. In a big picture, the difference is like this.
Goran, first of all, congratulations. 3 points and 1 more game to go. You're obviously comfortably in 7th place now, and that's the position you will remain. What's the trick with Ajman? You just seem to be consistent throughout the season and get good, solid results.
But I think this season really was very difficult. Generally, football in Emirates is improved, rhythm, intensity. And now when make analysis, what you said is stay only 1 match, I can be satisfied because all know to our budget is not very high. And our team play good football. I think all fans and our spectators enjoying how our team play. Of course, always can be better. Still now we have some mathematics to our team take 6th position, and we will see. Stay last match against Nasser in Anjman, must to prepare, and really after that to make good analysis about next season.
Of course, your final game is against Al Nassr, your former club as well. I mean, what positives can you take from tonight's game and perhaps previous games in the season into that final game?
But I think today our team play very smart, and I hope will be like this in our next match. It's very important, this energy, because our team cannot play without this energy, without system, organization, and of course responsibility. And I think and I hope to our team will play same like this last match in our field, and of course all respect team Nasser, but I believe to our team can make good results in our last match in Nirvana.
been a good season for Ajman. 2 wins in their last 3. They are in 7th place, very healthy. But just before we move on, I want to come back to Cyprien Panay and some of his comments there. Great questions, Amy, as normal. He's quite right, though, isn't he? He's looking back at the stats since he took over, and with his immediate rivals around them, Dibba are trending the best, if you want to put it that way. They've beaten the rivals around them. And they've got more points off Albertay and Al Dhafra than vice versa. That's what he has to cling to, even though he's playing Al Ain in the last game.
That is the biggest problem. It's who they are going up against. Yeah, it's an heroic season for any of the 3. I said this before. I'll be very sad on Saturday to see 2 of these 3 teams go to the first division. I would be in any case, but in this case, the way they played throughout the season, both Dibba, Bataya and Dhafra, I'll be very sad. And yes, a team that came from the first division, usually these teams, they struggle a lot in the ADNOC Pro League. And being well alive and kicking up until, because Dibba goes into the last match with the advantage among the 3 of them. It's a great work by
If all 3 lose their final match, Dibba is the team that stays up. That's the way they'll be looking at it.
But Graham, honestly, the 3 teams that are fighting now for the relegation zone, honestly, through the season, they put up they give some great games there against especially big, strong opponent like Shabab El Ahly, Jazeera, Al Ain. As Pedro mentioned, it's really sad to see them going, because if you remember in the beginning of the season, when Dibba started the games, we all were appreciating and cheering for them. And it's sad, but it's the ADNOC Pro League, so
that's it. Now, one of the bottom 3 teams did get a point in the last match week. That was Albertay. They drew 0-0 with Sharjah. For Sharjah, that's just 1 win in their last 5. We've talked a lot about them, but the focus on Albertay to get a point against Sharjah, who would have wanted to bounce back from that 5-0 defeat to Al Ain the week before, in the position that Albertay are in, and we're talking about the fighting spirit of Dibba and Al Dhafra, but Albertay certainly have that same steel about them, it seems. They're not going down without a fight.
They had a great a great game against Sharjah. It wasn't an easy game because Sharjah obviously was trying to win to get back to, because lately we all know the result of Sharjah are not great. But I would like to come back on the press conference of the goalkeeper of Sharjah, Al Hosani. He said something that is very important about the East team, that everyone is responsible, from the management till the players. And but from my side, I think like that remark that he made there is important to mention that once you remove, for example, Manhaj as a striker, Sharjah is the big team. You always play with a strong striker, and that when they did that, they couldn't close that gap to bring another player who can cover that place. And now I always say that the player need to take more responsibility, to be more the fighting spirit, to be more the solidarity also need to be there. All this put Sharjah in a situation that was the result for this season.
If there is one team looking at the league table that really would like the season to finish so that they can sort things out, is Sharjah.
Yes, totally agree with you. At Sharjah derby here, so that was also on the top of the table. 6th winless match for Bataya. Worst attack in the league with only 23 goals. Last win in March against Ajman. They lost Anatola Bang in January. This is the downside.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to praise about Bataya, tremendous fighting spirit.
Yeah.
A team that gives all they have in all their matches. A great work by Coach Farhad Majidi, because even they lost, on top of everything, they lost Anatola Bang in January. They are also having problems with injuries. A word also of respect for the management to keep the same coach instead of changing the coach, to keep the same coach until the end. And I think they are doing the best they can, honestly. I don't know what will happen on Saturday, but I think Bataya played with all the cards they had. They did not have many.
Okay, so that'll all come down to Saturday's matches. All three of those relegation-threatened teams will kick off at the same time on Saturday. But Kalba, who lost 2-1 to Al Nassr this week, now they're just 1 point above being in this relegation fight on the final day. So they've got there, they are secure, but only just for Kalba. And this was a 2-1 defeat to Al Nassr. Al Nassr, by the way, are having a good finish to the season.
Yes, Kalba also a disappointing season, in my opinion. I think Kalba can do better. I put Kalba in the same pool as Banias, Horfakan.
Disappointing is a bit heavy for...
I think, in my opinion, it is.
Yeah.
It is below, especially the home performances of Kalba. It's the worst team in terms of home performances. So I think they can do better for next season, because I credit Kalba like Banias, Horfakan and Ajman. It's that middle class we have already established in the ADNOC Pro League. They were a little bit below that average in this season, but they have the capacity to turn things around for the next season. As for Al Nassr, it's as you said, coming towards the end again in a good note with interesting players. The two players who scored in this match, both Traoré, just needs more consistent. Touré, he can be a good player in the ADNOC Pro League. And Milivojevic, for me, an amazing midfielder still at his age, leading Al Nassr.
So 3 wins in their last 4, Al Nassr in 6th, just 3 points off 5th. Let's look at our team of the week then, who we think are the best players from the penultimate match week of the season. And we look through there's quite a few Alain faces on the list. Both the Rahimi brothers are now on our lineup of the list. Mrs. Rahimi must be very happy to see that, both her boys there. Palacios there, who we've already, we think he's going to be our player of the season. Anyone else quickly that you want to just point out?
Mansouri Juma, great player, as we said before. He has a great feature, and Shabab El Ahly is very lucky to have a young player like this in their team. Of course, both Rahimis, they made a great impact when they come in when they played against Dhafra, but also through the season, because we saw the goal, especially that he scored against Shabab El Ahly, and when he came in, he always make the difference. And of course, the coach Rui, honestly, the tactic he put against Jazeera to win there was really impressive, and they deserve to be all there.
Some goal scorers there for the week. Verdi, Biro got a goal. Milivojevic, you've already talked about.
Abdullah Touré from Al Nassr is not there, could be. Milivojevic, for me, it's an unsung hero of the league this season. He's doing great for Al Nassr, very consistent in his performances. He has a lot of what Touré is missing in terms of consistency, even though, of course, different positions and different roles on the pitch. Let me highlight the central defender, Dine Borges, for Bataia. He might be playing the World Cup for Cape Verde. It's an interesting detail.
Yeah.
We have ADNOC Pro League players present in the World Cup.
Superb stuff. All right, let's look ahead then to the final game of the season. Now, there are going to be obviously games on Friday, but the focus is on the relegation battle. And this is how those 3 teams finish their seasons. It doesn't get much harder for these 3 teams. You have to feel a bit sorry for them. Dibba, 3rd from bottom on 20 points. They go to the champions, Alain, who are looking to go unbeaten all season. That's not good. For Al Battay, they go to the champions of last season, Shabab Al Ahly, who are going to want to finish the season strongly. And for Al Dhafra, well, they take on Al Wada in their last game of the season. And again, Al Wada, after a bit of a bumpy road recently, they will really want to finish their season strong. So this is not easy for any of them. I feel sorry for all of them. At the beginning of the season, they probably thought, we won't look at the end of the season just yet. But these 3 games, I mean, goodness me.
Fasten seatbelts, because we are going in for a ride on Saturday. In theory, the most winnable match, in theory, is Dhafra home with Wahda. In theory.
Bearing in mind Wada's recent form.
Yes.
That's the only thing we could look into this.
The other 2 matches are extremely hard for both teams, Bataille and Dibba, and Dhafra's match is hard. not extremely.
And Dafra
but
at
it's
home.
hard.
They're the only team at home.
And Dafra, they are playing home. That's the difference. Bataille is more used to this end of the season scraps than anyone else. And Diba has the advantage. So stay tuned on Saturday.
Yeah, as we're saying, if all three of those sides lose those games, it's Al Battay and Dafra who go down. It's going to be, we're often focused on the top of the division on the final day, but this relegation battle, it's going to be a thrill.
Graham, this makes the ADNOC Pro League more exciting, and the battle there is really tough. And as Pedro mentioned, I totally agree with him. It's sad to see the three teams fighting not to go down, because they have quality. They have coaches who, through the whole season, they were trying to make sure that they don't go down. But you know, it's the ADNOC Pro League, and it will be a really tough week. It will be difficult to predict who can.
Well, I'm going to ask you. Let's have a little prediction. Who do you think it's going to be the one that's going to stay?
Yes.
I think if you ask me the lottery numbers, it's probably easier. I don't know, honestly. I think, as I said before, Dafra has the most winnable match, if I can say that. But it's very complicated. Let's see how it goes from the start. Who scores first, where? Because, of course, they know what's going on each pitch. It's going to be complicated. Diba has the advantage. Yes. Bataille has more experience.
In my opinion, I think Diba, as Pedro said, they might have a chance because Al Ain is already champion. Maybe they can be carried away by, okay, we will celebrate and be surprised because Kalba, as we watched the last game against Ajman, if it wasn't the red card, they could have made something. But so maybe that's possible, but at the same time, Al Ain is looking to stay unbeaten.
Yeah.
So that will make it difficult for Diba. So it's really difficult.
Okay, well, let's look ahead then to the last games of this ADNOC Pro League season. So, lots to look forward to. We'll be live on Saturday night for that relegation battle scenario. Ibrahim, thank you very much.
Thank you,
as
thank
always,
you,
Pedro, thank you to
Thank you.
We'll see you then. And thank you to you for watching. We still do have drama to come for the rest of the season. We'll see you on Saturday. But for now, from everyone at Final Score, good night.
Oh, he missed it! Oh! Yes, Soufiane! Drills it! Stretch the lead for Al Ain!
Enviro scores!
Converted! The shot, a goal! The shot's the finish! Thaddeus had the level up!
Toure with a strike, it's him! There's a chance, and there's a goal! Lucas scores!
Free rein and Gesson, wow, what a hit!